who aren't targeted to be enslaved and imprisoned and fucked with. They're just having little random things done to them, like experiments, weapons testing and shit instead. Now they got whistleblowers, they got targets, Duncan acknowledged. In fact, I don't even know if his book mentions the whole thing, but I was reading just like a couple of pages of it. I was like, he got that down pretty much. That's pretty much how it is. And even I've experienced what's in the book, you know. But I mean, because they end up over so much time, they just do so many crazy things to you. And it's like you're truly integrating into this computer world. That this technology is streaming content into your brain and your body and shit all day long. And you just have to sit there and integrate with it and take it like you're watching a TV or something. Or there's, you know, some stuff happening to you, but you only sense it in your head. You know, and you might respond to the conversations. You're having a conversation with the computer program. The computer program is responding to you. It's all a bunch of bullshit. It ends up taking away a lot of your attention. He mentions that in the book. You know, it takes your attention. You end up like ADHD-like symptoms. The more torture that they do with it, the more stimulation, you end up with more, like your body breaks down, your brain breaks down, it doesn't fucking work as well. It doesn't perfectly, I mean, it integrates enough. It doesn't perfectly integrate. The version I experienced was not like perfect integration. Because if they upped it to perfect integration, you would have like, you know, I would be looking at the wall and the text would be on the wall looking like it was really part of the wall. But it doesn't look like that. It looks like a faint 2D image instead. But yeah, they can make it look like text was scribbled on the wall. And if they did that, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between their technology anymore and what they were doing and communicating to you and shit. It would look like, you know, you'd see a poster on the wall, but you go to the wall, the poster wasn't there. That would be kind of weird, right? But it sure did look exactly like that poster was there, full resolution and color. But that's like a level just slightly above what they already have. They have something similar. Their dreams are the most vivid, but while you're walking around during the day, it's less resolution and higher latency usually. And they can control some of it. They can adjust the latency and the resolution a little bit. So, depending on what, I mean, so latency refers to how long it takes for their computer to hit your brain. And the latency between the signals getting from the transmitter to you, and then you having the effect of seeing it. And latency is like how fast they can get down to the moment of whatever you're experiencing. So entering a room, looking at a door, shit like that. And they've lowered the latency down pretty good. It's really low. It's like under 100 milliseconds. So that's latency. It's just like in a video game. When you move the mouse in your first-person shooter, you steer it right, you know. If you're playing over the internet, you'll have latency. Because that's the time from the server to you. And this is the time from their computer networks to you. So in the video game internet world, you'll notice your mouse movement, it's most noticeable, say you press the trigger button, and you'll notice perhaps a delay in where the bullet was projected to be shot from to where other people are in the environment. And they have various techniques to try to lower that, like zero ping like technology. And it doesn't really work too well, but yeah, there's a little bit of latency. And if you get up to higher latency, you notice it more. Like, hey, that rocket, there's a delay in when it appeared to shoot on my screen, depending on the game engine and all that, right? If you're to say Quake 3 or fucking Unreal Tournament, the latency is noticeable. So anyway, that's what they're talking about. So they generate a lot of their software and their effects to account for the fact that there's a little bit of latency. So it doesn't usually seem like sync, right? They control the conversations and stuff like that. So everything is pretty much like instantly appropriate to the environment. Well, they can also increase the amount of CPU resources and focus that they're doing on you if they want, and reduce the latency a little bit. They got some techniques. And they'll also prevent, like, a lot of the times they want to repeat frames and information in your head so your head can absorb it. They'll reduce that so it becomes more like a real-time video that they're beaming into your head. So latency also refers to the type of content. Low latency would be like a video of them sitting in a room talking to you in real-time motion while you're awake. And it seems to be like mostly like, yeah, it feels it's hard to say. You have to experience it, but man, when you experience that, they're adjusting latencies and shit, going into low latency mode. Versus the higher latency mode. Higher latency mode, there's way less detail and information being beamed at you as well. So they know what their low latency mode is more than I do. It's got many different components. So low latency mode, more information, lower latency, sucking up more of your attention. Higher latency, they tend to try to use less of their resources and yours. And oh shit. Yeah, this technology, like I said, it's Prime Directive, man. They're walking around Earth keeping a secret from everybody so they can't figure this shit out. Now what you can do is go to a work for them. They'll gladly put you to work, do slave labor with you. And you'll be dumb, unwise to it. Now many people, they know about some of the targeting tactics, right? They don't know about all of them. Suddenly there's some, I don't know for sure. I mean, I've heard these stories. This is unconfirmed that they don't know about this technology. But they were involved in the system targeting people, and then they started hearing voices. Weird shit. But I don't know if these people are perpetrators that come and tell me that story. I have a lot of people. It's almost like they're reading from a script sometimes. A nurse, most of the nurses around the country, they take part in this, right? And then suddenly she comes at me with this story. This is actually how I identify a false story. It's like overly exaggerated. She knows all the capabilities that they could do, and she's talking about all this stuff happening to her. She claims that she was a nurse. She was one of them. But then she lies and slips up and says, and several parts of her story, seem like, she doesn't really know what she's talking about. But either that or they got her under a real intense torture program. It's more intense than usual. And I think, she says she didn't know nothing about this, and they started targeting her. But yet most nurses around the country, they're part of the national security state. So when the police take people into these hospitals, all the nurses have to be trained to follow orders and to work with people that they're terrorizing and spying on and becoming witnesses for the state for and stuff. And they've done all sorts of experiments. They help develop the technology in a lot of these hospitals. So, I mean, the nurses, they'll even take jobs. They're supposed to be basically safe. You can't become a nurse if you're not going to go with the targeting and allow weapons testing and development and stuff. Our country's done this. And also spying, national security stuff, targeting people. So nurses all go with this shit. They're all brought into the system. But some of these nurses are trying to tell me that they only knew about some of this stuff. And then they were getting voices in their head and everything. I just don't believe them. That's because I know nurses at many hospitals are taking full part in this. They know when a victim comes in to discredit them, mark delusional on the fucking form, try to inject them with drugs and stuff, but do not help that person. Do not fucking diagnose them as being a victim. Do not give them medical care related to their injuries for targeting and all that. They got a whole procedure to follow. And you go back and study MK Ultra, you can just credit anyone who says we don't do this, because back then every hospital in America was publicly exposed as doing it. Every hospital. There wasn't a single fucking hospital that wasn't doing some type of mind control experiment for the CIA and using regular fucking citizens right there. The goddamn local hospital. Doesn't matter what city you went to. Fucking New York, Washington, D.C. Fucking you go to UCLA, Los Angeles. Doesn't matter where you fucking ended up. There are hundreds of these fucking hospitals. But their tactic is always, they were allowed to go carry on these things for so many years. And of course, what you begin to see in MK Ultra and the human experiments, human radiation experiments, these doctors were everywhere. And then they were branching out. They would branch out and go do some experiments here, go do some here, they were just moving around, grazing in the whole government, military, industrial complex, national security state. So they work in multiple facilities in multiple states, oftentimes doing the same work over decades at a time. No one shuts them down. No one prosecutes them. They're able to do it by keeping most of it secret. Deny they were doing it. Sometimes some of it would be in the public, like, hey, we had a great success. We just developed this implant, put it in a guy, and all sorts of shit. It was great success. Of course, the person was mutilated and messed up that they tested it on. And another doctor would come and say, no, this guy, he's terrified he's going to get abducted again and have all this done. And no, it wasn't a success. Not at all. But without that doctor there and people taking interest in this guy's case, his name was Leonard Kill, the false message would be the only message there. The false message, this was a great success. We got a brain implant in a guy and it worked great. And we were remotely controlling him and all sorts of shit. That's the message that was told to everybody, was they had a great success. So they have the ability to control the messages people receive. They control the media. They control TV, newspapers, and all that. And the message was so strong, or so authoritative. They were brainwashing a whole population. They were doing it every day. It wasn't just this one message. Every fucking message was designed to brainwash the population and keep them in control. And you probably, occasionally, another doctor would come out, a lawsuit would get filed or something. Some people might try to help the victims in this, but it's very rare. help for victims almost never comes in this fucking setup. Prime Directive and shit. I can't seem to find any fucking freedom fighters anymore. I found a couple over the years. They came to me, they were real freedom fighters, man. They were whistleblowers. They would tell me things about this. But lately I haven't been finding anybody. And the thing is, I also found there's no attorneys at all. There's just these people you come across that will talk about things and give you information about this. Say they testify for you, they'll witness what's going on and everything, and they witness it, and they really want to testify. I've came across agents who worked in a town that were involved in targeting, and when they came across me, they're like, "Yeah, Todd, we know all about this. This is going on all over town. We've been investigating this for years." And these aren't like government agents that are investigating. These are like regular citizens. They believe in Occupy movement and stuff like that, and all this, civil rights and helping people and everything, right? So these progressive, liberal women I actually came across a team of women that worked for government that were like, "Yeah, Tom will testify for you and everything. Here's our name and stuff. Subpoena us, and we're going to confirm that the government's targeting people." And they didn't even want to press me. They didn't want to get me locked up and stuff. Like, "Todd, if they're doing this down at the local hospital and the police and stuff, use fake names whenever you call the cops. And that's how you get to us. Use a fake name and, try to get us to come out, because you had to call the cops to get these women to come to you. They were part of some special unit. But they were like a cop alternative. And all the other staff were fucking like perps. But these were the only non-perps. These girls were fucking badass. They fucking were well trained. These were Edward Snowden level fucking girls, dude. And they're fucking the same age as Edward Snowden and everything. They just hated this shit. What they were forced to do for work, what they were seeing in the city all over the place. And they were just hardcore activists and whistleblower material there. But you don't come across those type of people, you ain't getting fucking shit. You're getting the hardcore corrupt. They just want to protect their business and their profits and their income and their knowledge of all this. They were telling me, "Yeah, if they're doing this at the hospital, don't go down to that hospital. Because you already know that they don't want to fucking see you get help." They basically told me the truth. But I already knew, and they wanted to make sure that I didn't go down to the hospital anyway, just to get fucked with. I was trying to get help so bad with my injuries. They've been inflicted onto laser beams and shit. The fucking laser beams, man. Fucking literally, it hit me up. Mutilating my brain. When I told them about what happened, that this happened to me, they're like, "We already know this is happening. We already know." And they had heard of this stuff from other places that said. They knew Dr. Robert Duncan and everything. It was crazy. I'm serious. These are some fucking banging bras, man. These are the type of girls you used to have on Howard Stern, man. The fucking real fucking babes. So intelligent. So cunning and witty. badass witnesses. I've come across another girl who also came out with info. She confirmed there was classified documents on this inside of the government. And they're contractors. They're Republican-ran contractors, probably. Military contractors. Contractors are little businesses that you set up and you try to get the government to give you power and money from the government. So you can sit there and get rich yourself and to control the population more effectively. So the Republicans are in there voting, yeah, let's give this work to contractors. Some of our buddies will have the money and the power in their personal possession instead of the government. It's totally corrupt. The whole government's under their control. And the more the resources they put on from the contractors, the harder it is to get control of the system fast. Now, yeah, we got all these contractors. It's like splitting up the throne. There's some power over here. We give it to this guy, give this power to this guy and this group, fucking this power to this fucker. But the good thing is up at the top, the NSA, the DOD, the CIA, FBI, they're all pretty powerful. So if anyone ever says that they can't enforce the law, don't believe it. They can enforce the law anytime they want to. But they're choosing to support all this shit. They're protecting it and doing it every day.